Also, there will be another race just after this one here on Speed Gaming for title against Tigerson. You can catch that after this, but we are set and getting underway here now. So lots of bunny hopping here in the prologue. Most of it is because we actually do receive a small speed boost from jumping. It's very good to use in the prologue. It only saves about a second overall, but optimally maybe 1.5. But it's a strat used among everybody because the prologue obviously is very optimized, as well as the first couple chapters. So it's good to save a little bit of time whenever you can. Benteezy and Doroco both getting through it without a death, which is nice. They do happen, and they can be very embarrassing. And unfortunately, if it did happen in this race, there would be no resetting rather. They would have to deal with the 5 or 10 second time loss that results. So Ben and Doroco both getting started here on Forsaken City. Forsaken City is basically just I wouldn't call it necessarily a tutorial, but it's definitely one of the easiest chapters. So Ben's doing a lot of really intricate dashing here. Most of it has already been explained throughout the tournament, but I'll touch on it really quickly. Hyper dashing is when Madeline dashes down into the ground and jumps at the same time. Basically lowering the arc of her jump, but giving her a huge momentum speed boost at the same time. Another one you might see here and there is a dash cancel or a jump dash, which is basically just pressing dash and jump at the same time, or jump momentarily after dashing. It's a very high jump compared to the hyper dash, and it doesn't give you as much momentum. And then there's the wave dash, which is basically a hyper dash from the air. A fun fact here, Doroco doesn't actually have a submitted any % time. He actually just speedruns Chapter 6B. So this is new territory for him as we see Benteezy finishing up here. Also, there are extended versions of these dashes. You're going to see Doroco attempting it on the right side of the screen right now. He's just going to take the zipper block ahead, or across instead. Basically, an extended dash, an extended hyper, or even an extended jump dash basically gives you your dash back because you press jump in a certain frame window. And Ben's going to be doing one right there, and there's going to be another one on this following screen, which is right there. Cool little strat here. When we do skip cutscenes, they only change our x-axis and completely ignore the y-axis. So by manipulating the cutscene right there, Ben is actually going to spawn. He spawned inside of the dream block, and in turn, he was able to dash straight out of it. Oh, Ben missing the... That's a 3-pixel window. He'll take the easy way there. Doroco finishing up. Forsaken City. A 209. This section is the Battle and Chase, by the way. Figured I might as well touch on that as well. Battle and follows you on a 3-second cycle, and or on a 3-second delay rather, and she basically just mimics your movements, as Ben forced to take a safe route there, as he almost did get caught by Battle-in rather. This room can be a little bit tricky, costly if you do die in it, and it's very, very interesting to watch the amount of runners that have different strats. For that last section, Ben fizzes through it with no problem. Doroco getting through to the dream block section as well now. Apologies if I do go silent for a little bit as well. Solo commentary can be a little demanding for sure, and I just spent a day at work, so I apologize if I fumble over my words or anything crazy. So Ben making his way, pretty clean movement through that awake section, nothing to be disappointed in, and he escapes Chapter 2, and he's about to visit the Celestial Resort next. So right away, you're going to see some little creatures we call dust creatures here in Chapter 3, and those are basically the name of the game for this chapter. You see them right there. They're all stuck, but these ones move on specific cycles, and that's basically what Chapter 3 is all based on, is cycle-based rooms, which makes for some very interesting strats for sure. And a variety of different strats as well. So here's our first instance where you're going to be seeing a little key. They actually don't leave you if you do die. If you do die, you keep the key. You're going to see that come into play for a strat later on in this chapter. And basically, you just got to find a keyhole to put the key in. You know, normal stuff that keys do. I feel like I'm stating the obvious, but... Very nice room there from Benteezy. That room has a lot of different strats as well. Also, failure to mention these lock switches. Touching all of them in the room makes a certain lock block move, as you saw above there, as Ben's going to grab another key. Doroco in that last room now, having a little bit of trouble. He might get caught there. Nope, he's going to get away. Oh, man. This is going to be scary. Yes, he does make it through, though. Good stuff from Doroco. Now you see Ben entering this horrendous-looking room. Just an absolute mess. Well, that's because this section is called Huge Mess. You see that key that's trapped in between everything? Well, we're going to try to clean that entire section up. And in turn doing that, we're going to unlock that key and be able to progress. So there are 3 sections of the Huge Mess section. One that cleans up the clothes, one that cleans up the towels, and the other that cleans up the books. Ben just touched up on the one, or touched the button that cleans up the clothing. And the reason that we use a specific path here is because of Oshiro's positioning after each of the segments. There are 3 pathways, like I just said. You've got the top, the middle, and the bottom, and the pathway that the optimized path for that is bottom, top, and then middle. So you can see Oshiro was right there as soon as Ben came out of that section. And just fizzing his way through this. Does take a death there, though. Was very close. Some of these cycles can be very tight whenever you're using strats that are really optimized. So now that Ben's completed all 3 sections, he's going to go grab that key that's in the middle of the room here. And he's going to head to the elevator shaft. Elevator shaft segment has a lot of longer rooms, and they can be very, very punishing if you die late in them. Been having no trouble with that room. That room can be a bit finicky for sure. A couple of nice time wall bounces here to get to the cutscene. Doroco making his way in now. This is the room. Chain 4 hypers on those chain 4 hypers on those pressure platforms. Make it all the way across the room, grab the key, and then retry to spawn you at the start of the room again rather than dashing all the way back. Saves a good amount of time and is a very cool strat when done perfectly. So Ben is about to reach the presidential suite, and he's about to escape onto the roof, and he's about to be chased by Oshiro, who is now angry at us. Oshiro can be a bit of a butt in this section if you do get on the wrong cycle, but a lot of strats are optimized to make this easier. So basically, Oshiro attacks on the horizontal plane, and when you see that little lightning bolt, that will show the path that he's going to come across at. He can be bopped on the head, and it does give Madeline's dash back. Then coming in on this last room now. This room can be very, very punishing time-wise if there is a death. It is very, very long, as are most of the rooms, most of the last rooms in the chapters in this game. Ben on a different cycle than he's used to there, so he does take it a little bit safely. But 5:10 is still a good time in a race for sure. As Doroco now enters the huge mess segment. Keep in mind, if you see Doroco doing anything unconventional, he does only run 6B. He was talking to me before the race, so it's very, very good to see him doing a full run now for sure. He's actually going to go up top first. Which is a little bit different. I promise I was telling the truth. What you are going to see, though, is that certain blocks here are going to be there for Doroco that weren't there for Ben, and that's because as you clean up the mess, the other rooms get harder. So it's neat that you guys get to kind of see that here. As Ben now in Chapter 4, sorry about that. The wind, main mechanic of this chapter. You're going to see it a lot. These little green blobs, or balls, whatever you want to call them, basically they push Madeline the same distance as a dash would, but they give her dash back when she comes out, kind of allowing a double dash, I guess, if you will. Those clouds are like trampolines. You bounce on them, and then there are these moving platforms as well that are activated when grabbed onto or pushed, or landed on. A couple of neatly timed wall kicks there. A couple more neatly timed wall kicks. Now, what's Ben gonna do? Okay. I was wondering if he'd try it without the block, but Ben's not an absolute madman. He does get that strat per first try, though. The bunny hop strat there is a little bit harder than the regular extended hyper strat, so it's very cool to see runners get that, especially on the first try. The red clouds do disappear when you land on top of them as well. There's a reverse hyper dash. Basically, any dash can be reversed if you quickly change the direction while still holding the down input. For reverse hypers, at least. This room's a bit boring, just an auto-scroller. Doroco finishing up the second section of the huge mess here. Not used to seeing all those towels still there like that, though. Not used to coming from that area, actually. Cool little strat here. Ben's... Good recovery. Did not have to retry. He's going to do a wall bounce off of that block there, and then basically skip an entire wind cycle from the traditional strategies used there. And he actually gets in front of that that directional block too, which is pretty neat. So you're going to see these snowballs. They're fizzed at us on a 3-second cycle, or sorry, 4-second cycle, I do believe it is, if I recall correctly. Been taking a couple of unfortunate deaths in this room. This room in itself, specifically, is a bit annoying. Makes it through after that, no problem, though. The snowballs can very, very much cause a bit of a fracas if you're not used to them coming at you on a specific timing. So if you do mess up a strat and take too long to complete a room, sometimes the snowballs can be a bit of a pain in the butt. Last room here for Benteezy now. Finishing up Ridge on a 314, which is not bad at all. Doroco into the elevator shaft here. Oh, unfortunately missing that lock. Does get it though. Oh, but he's going to take a death to the dust floor. That's unfortunate. I kind of saw that coming from a mile away. It's a bit of a shame. Well done there on the third try. I think that was though. So Ben now entering Mirror Temple, which is meant to be basically a search and find, kind of a puzzle chapter, if you will, casually, but we make it look really easy. These red balls are basically the same as the green ones, except they don't stop going in a certain direction until Madeline either dashes out of them or they are, like, they run into something. So our good friend Theo is trapped inside the mirror, which is a shame. Poor Theo. Please drop a like to pay respects. These dash platforms, they are activated when Madeline dashes or whenever the player dashes. And basically they move on set planes, as you'll see a little coaster behind them that they follow. Also, to reply to Berto in chat, I agree with the screen shake. It's a bit disorienting for sure. Also, Benteezy taking an unfortunate death in this room. If you do this on the perfect cycle, you can actually dash diagonally right over those walls into the next red ball, and completely avoid those blades. But unfortunately, sometimes going too fast can be punishing in this game, and that was one of the instances. As Doroco now in the Oshiro section. Benteezy now in this unraveling, or about to go into the unraveling section, now playing as a Seeker, basically just to give you an understanding of how these things work. Doroco really blasting through this for someone who's not run any percent that much, or at all for that matter. So after a few cutscene skips here with battling in on Benteezy's screen, taking a death to the spikes there, carrying too much momentum. We're going to see our first Seeker on the next screen right here. He's going to pop out of that statue. And from here on, you're going to see them in almost, I do believe, actually, like almost every single room from here out. A neat little thing is that, as you can see on Ben's screen, he did actually get the Seeker to hit that lock switch for him. It is possible for that to be done, and it's very, very useful. Nice little strat there by Ben, knocking that Seeker straight down by bopping it on the head right onto that lock switch. Very neat strat. I love that one. So this last room is a bit longer than the others. It's got 5 lock switches. Good stuff from Benteezy here, though. Oh my goodness! And as I say that, the commentators curse. Ben, he knows. He knows. I think he was teabagging there because it was a bit of my fault. I think he knew. That's unfortunate. Oh my goodness, and he almost did it again. So Doroco now in the last room of the Oshiro section. Taking a death, though. Unfortunate. Here's a skip called Search Skip. If you blink, you miss it. Benteezy just did it. I apologize if you weren't looking, because it is gone, and you probably won't see it again until Doroco gets there. It skips, believe it or not, despite it looking small as heck, it actually saves about 3 to 4 minutes off of the traditional way that Mirror Temple's supposed to be done. Basically, in that large section, you're supposed to search for 2 keys and unlock two keyholes to take a red ball all the way across that section. Instead, we're just to heck with that, and we just reverse jump dash right over it. And Doroco finished up Chapter 3 there, but I don't really have much time to talk about that because Ben is now into the Theo section. Unfortunately, when we're carrying Theo, who is now trapped in this crystal, again, poor Theo, man. He really has a rough go. That Seeker's in a rough position for Ben. Oh, he escapes it barely. We can't actually dash with Theo, but we can dash before we pick him up or throw him and then catch him and maintain our momentum from the dash. And basically that's how most of the strats and most of the tech goes in this this general section. Theo section, one of the best I wouldn't say best program, but the best on a creative standpoint by the devs for sure. I really like this section, and it makes for some very, very interesting strats. So this last room of the Theo section, again, very, very long. It's the last room, well, the second last room of the chapter, technically, but it is the last challenging room of the chapter, but Ben just gets through it without problem. This is the last room. You'll see these little waves here. They push you back. Nothing too threatening if you know how to deal with them. They come on a set cycle. And just like that, Chapter 5 is finished. And Doroco is about 1/3 of the way through Chapter 4 now as well. But now into my favorite chapter, Chapter 6. This chapter is very well done, in my opinion. I really like this chapter, if he's going to start, that is. Doroco going for that wall kick as well. The corner jump there can be a little finicky sometimes. I do have trouble with it occasionally, but a lot of runners actually have trouble with it occasionally. Doroco taking a bit of time here is a little costly. Having a lot of trouble, actually. So I'll move to Ben's screen real quick. I'll explain the feathers later because we're going to see a quick door skip. Whoa, jeez. A little premature there. We're going to see leg skip. Ben's struggling, though. Both of our runners struggling with some strats here. Ben a little angry, just decides to go the normal way and misses the crush block. Oh, Benteezy, you never fail to amaze us, sir. Is he gonna go back and try leg skip again? I think he is. Oh my goodness. And he spawns all the way back at the other side of the room again. And he just restarts the chapter. Benteezy at his finest, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute comedian. Absolute comedian. I can explain the feathers now, though. They run out on set time intervals. Ben's still taking deaths here on leg skip. Hey, there it is! Ben finally getting leg skip. That is so funny. I'm sorry. I have push to talk on, and I let go for a good 5 seconds because I absolutely lost it. Doroco about halfway through, or sorry, yeah, about halfway through Chapter 3 now. Ben doing a neutral wall kick there. Will he get the strat here? Oh, unfortunately not. What he tried to do was carry his momentum from that dash and dash over to that falling block and drop it before the crush block makes it there and collides with it, just setting the crush block completely on its own trajectory and in turn skipping about 3 seconds. Not a huge time loss. But I don't think Ben cares about time loss anymore after that that wonderful start to this Chapter 6. I'm gonna have a long talk with him about that. Nicely timed dashes there, that extended dash and the dash after from Benteezy on that screen. These bumpers appear here and there in this chapter. The neat thing about them, is if you are facing away from them when you make contact with them, it does give you an extra boost compared to normal, which was actually programmed in by the devs. Another way to tell that this was definitely a speedrun built game. Ben taking the top path here. You won't see that many runners do it actually. I'm not quite sure why. It doesn't save that much time, but it is technically faster. Ben's skipping an entire feather there. And skipping another feather as well. That's very impressive. Oh, Doroco taking an unfortunate death there. So Ben in this very long room now is going to take a couple of dev-intended shortcuts through those 2 sections rather than going all the way around the room and make it through the bottom one as well. No problem. So we're getting close to my favorite section of the game here on Benteezy's side. So you're gonna see a nice momentum trick here. Not as hard to do as it looks, where he just jets through that room, and all of a sudden, hey, we're in the battle line fight. So Battlin's a little bit angrier than she was before now, so we actually have to fight her. As sad as that may be. Yeah, let's get some Hayas in the chat, can we? Wonderful soundtrack. So the Battlin fight is all completely room-based. There is no health bar, which makes this fight unique. Basically, we have to hit her a set amount of times in each room for her to break through the ground and head to the next one. See, Ben got a little confused there, missing that hit. Nothing too troublesome, though. Skips that feather. Oh, I love that strat. Very impressive from Benteezy. Skipping another feather there as well. Doroco in a very punishing room in Chapter 4 right now. It can be a bit of a pain in the butt, especially with the snowballs. Was the next thing I was going to say, and as I did, he got killed by one. The commentator's curse is back. It takes another one as well. Really hurts you to see that. Ben at the same time, blowing through this Battlin section. So the second phase of the Battlin fight is actually a bit different. These blocks move on set intervals rather than falling from the sky, or falling from the ceiling, rather, like they did in the last section. And they can be used to do a few momentum-based tricks. You did see Ben do one at the very, very start that I failed to speak up on, but... Oh, Ben with a misdirected dash there. Goes right instead of left, and unfortunately takes a death. Doroco in the last room of that Chapter 4 now, hoping for a bit of help from the win. Ben in the last room of the battle and fight now, a very, very long room. A death at the end can be very punishing. Ben looks like he's going to get through it, no problem. And he finishes. And basically we're going to go and we're going to make up with Battlin, and as you can see, Madeline's hair is now pink on Ben's screen, which basically is the sign that he has the ability to dash twice now, which is going to allow for some more awesome and interesting strats in the summit. Getting a little bit of story there from Benteezy. Awesome stuff. Real talk, though, if you do want to see any of the story here, because we don't get to see much of it in the speedrun, make sure, please, if you haven't already, purchase this game. Play it for yourself. It's a wonderful, wonderful game. One of my favorite of 2018 so far, for sure. If not my favorite of 2018. Very, very good stuff. Very, very well done from the dev team. And Ben is going to head into the summit now. The summit is a culmination of all the chapters. You're going to see different sections based on different chapters. Basically just testing you on everything while adding the second dash mechanic in. This first section, as you can see, largely based off of the reflections. Doroco having a little bit of trouble with this skip here involving the... Oh, good stuff! Wow! That was a very, very nicely timed reverse hyper dash from Doroco there, and he avoids those as well. Oh no. Alright, he's able to get away from that. Good stuff from Doroco. Ben now in the 500-meter section based off of Forsaken City. You're going to see the zippers make their return again as well. Ben making his way through it very, very cleanly. No problems whatsoever. Doroco in the large dark room of Mirror Temple now. And Ben finishing up 500 meters pretty well. So something I didn't mention earlier about dream blocks. You do die if you hit a wall while you're maintaining, or still maintaining the dash inside of one. If you do make contact with a wall, you do die. And they are actually, for whatever reason, possible to hyperdash out of. Like that. And you can also jump twice out of them as well, if you time the two jumps very, very well. So basically, they're just really fun from a speedrunner standpoint. As you can see the hyperdashes out of them. Oh, Benteezy not making it through that one, though, unfortunately. Very good stuff from him. And despite how easy they make, Benteezy makes it look, those are actually pretty difficult. Oh, narrowly avoiding a death there, and then he dies in the next screen anyways. Doroco getting set, taking an unfortunate death there, though. Now Ben in the section that no one likes to talk about because it is terrible and difficult and hard. 1,500 meters based off of Celestial Resort. Very fun to watch from a spectator and commentator standpoint, however, very, very hard in some rooms as a runner. Ben getting those ultra strats there, very nice. So Doroco is about to enter the unraveling section. Apologies for the voice crack there. Like I said, I've been using my voice a lot today, so I apologize. You can make fun of it. I won't be offended. This last room, Benteezy makes it through just fine. And he'll move now into the 2,000 meter section, which is based off of Golden Ridge. Right away, you're going to see a different path taken here by Benteezy. He's going to jump up, do a nice little wall bounce there, do a couple of wave dashes off of the ground and then off the cloud to save his dash. It is faster to do that route, or do it that route, rather than taking the other one. Ben's still got that berry. I'm not sure if he, not that it matters if he collected it or not, but I'm not sure if he did. Auto-scroller skip here from Benteezy. Nicely done. Basically, it's a hyper dash, or an extended hyper dash off of that directional platform, which gives him enough momentum to completely scale the rest of that room and avoid having to take that block all the way across and instead doing a nice little wall bounce at the very end off of one of the corners. Doroco now fully in the unraveling section, dealing with the Seekers. Ben about to enter the last room of 2,000 meters before he heads to 2,500. Which is, if you couldn't have guessed, based off of Mirror Temple. I can only apologize for butchering my English. I am Canadian. Get used to apologies. Ben, in maintaining his dash there before going into that first room, is able to avoid basically an auto-scrolling point from those dash blocks. And he's about to do what we like to call key skip, which is 2 well-timed corner jumps there. Those spike hitboxes are actually a lot smaller than the sprite. Not a lot smaller, but are smaller than the sprites themselves. So it may look like he should have died there, but thanks to the hitboxes being smaller, he didn't. Somehow missing that red ball there as well. And didn't keep his dash there as well. This is actually a pretty interesting strat there, the timing. Ben going for door skip here, and he's going to miss it the first try. Is he going to go again? Seems like he's taking some time to make his decision, or rather just taking a deep breath before going for it again. Oh, but he dies on the second door this time. He'll try it once more. Benteezy gets it on the third try. You know what they say, third try is the charm. Third try is the charm. Oh, he's going to do it again. Oh, no, he's going to do it the normal way. Oh, Benteezy. If only I knew what was going through this man's head. Because I could speak more about the thought process in going behind some of these decisions, but I'm just as confused as you are. I promise. Trying to keep this as entertaining as I possibly can, guys. I try hard. But now at 3,000 meters. So basically 3,000 meters replaces screen transitions with these checkpoint flags, and you respawn at them if you die, rather than, you know, transitioning from screen to screen. And this is one final, like, large climb to the top, and it's very, very satisfying. Right here, you're going to see these lines going down. That's actually wind. It's downdraft. Oh, Ben skipped a checkpoint there, too, so he pays the price for that death for sure. He's going to skip it again, though. And he won't die this time. Good stuff from Ben. The downdraft basically makes gravity, you know, harder. We're going to see an updraft section after it as well. That kind of feels like zero gravity. So intensifying gravity and lifting gravity a bit more in these two sections. Ben making it through the downdraft without any problems other than that one death. Doroco now in the Theo section as well. Wow, nice boost from him there. Very nice stuff. That's not the strat that you normally see there, but definitely a good one from Doroco. Yeah, Ben now on the updraft section. It does make for a bit tougher to control, in my opinion. But then again, so is the downdraft section, so... This flag can be very punishing if you die late. Gets it. No problem. And then dies shortly after. Nice little neutral jump there to avoid those spikes. Also, yeah, that is tournament first. Benteezy is actually the first person to do door skip and the non-door skip strat in the same room. Incredible scenes here on Speed Gaming 4 right now. Monumental. Ben now in the last section of 3,000 meters. He's going to take a look through the binoculars, isn't he? Yep. Make sure you scale out that room. You know, it's very hard. This is actually a very important strat. It's not an important strat, guys, by the way. I'm totally joking. I have no idea what Ben's doing. There's the flag. At least he knows where it is now, right? I have so many questions. Ben now on flag 2, coming up towards the end here. And Ben's gonna make it through flag 1 here, and he is finished. Very good stuff from Benteezy. 36-13 with a lot of interesting stuff happening as well. So now we turn our attention to Doroco, who is currently still in Mirror Temple, making his way through. So we may get Benteezy in here for a quick interview. We'll see. GG's to Benteezy. Now improving to 4-0, still undefeated. Doroco now in the last room here of Mirror Temple, taking a bit of abuse from these waves before finally finishing it off. Good stuff. So no matter what, guys, feel free to get hyped. Doroco is on PB pace, no matter what. You heard me correctly. Doroco will PB, no matter what. So that will be a technically still another PB here in the Celeste Any Tournament, which is awesome. I thought he was going to go for leg skip there for a second. So most of the stuff you're going to see on Doroco's screen from now on... Oh, very nice there, actually. Taking that side of the crush block. So yeah, for a first any percent one run from Doroco, will we see the sub 1 hour is the question. Again, like I said, super hard to commentate on Doroco's side right now because, oh, not getting the momentum there, unfortunately. Most of the stuff you're seeing on Doroco's screen, we've already seen. Also, apologize for the audio delay. That must be on Doroco's side, not Speed Gaming's. Or I think it would have been fixed by now for sure. Doroco going underneath rather than going above. Something I haven't seen in a while. Doroco taking a nice improv route there with the bumpers in this room. Might I just say that 5C strat is completely disgusting. Doroco actually taking the top route here. He is going to take a death, though, unfortunately. Oh, great save from Doroco there. Wow. Very good stuff. Having a quick chat with Grandma before he now moves on as well. Oh, unfortunate death there at the end of that room, though. Doroco finally getting through that longer room there. Taking a little bit of time through this water section, though, unfortunately. Doing a miniature version of the battle and boost there before heading into the battle and fight now. Get some more hayas going on here. Screen shake is very, very noticeable in this section because of all the dashing. The battle in rooms can be very punishing as well in terms of time. Doroco making his way through the battle and fight with not that much problem so far. Still, anything very, very good for his standard. Unfortunate that they're on the spikes. Like I said, I really apologize for the lack of commentary here. It's just there's not all that much to say about this section. Taking some unfortunate deaths here with that feather before finally getting it. Something I did fail to mention earlier, though. The Battle-In section, Battle-In features 2 attacks, one of which is a laser, the other of which are these little fireballs. Very good stuff there, not needing to use that platform at all. And we do have Benteezy with us now.
Hello, friend.
Hello, good sir. So, did you enjoy yourself?
Only at the end, and only with the binoculars.
That was yeah, very, very interesting decision, I must say. But GG's nonetheless. It's still a W for you, so that's good. Still remaining undefeated, 4-0 now.
Yeah, thank you.
But the question I wanted to ask you was what exactly was the start of Chapter 6? What happened there, and what was going through your head? It was really, I must say, like, I was laughing very, very hard. Like, it was very funny to watch, but...
So my PB has, like, my gold, like, my personal best for Chapter 6 and my personal best for Chapter 7. But they're still both pretty improvable if I just complete the levels without dying.
Right.
So I went into Chapter 5 3 seconds behind my PB. 3. And then in Unraveling, when my controller dashed up right instead of up at the end of that Seeker section,
the last room, yeah.
I lost 18 seconds or something. And I was really frustrated right in that moment. And I was like confused because I know for sure I didn't press up right. So I was like, the thoughts of like, is my controller starting to die, like, were going through my head. And then the search section was whatever, I made some stupid mistakes. That's fine, that's my own fault. But then right, like, entering the third screen of the Theo section, like right before I went through the transition, Madeline just threw Theo for no reason, like without me letting go of grab. So what transpired was me progressing through like the next 2 or 3 screens with totally different momentum that I'm used to, and having to like fix like every single room as I was entering it. And it was like, it just like the frustration started like building up and building up and building up.
Yeah, not only that, it completely throws you off too, having you do things differently.
Yeah, and so I wound up coming out of Chapter 5 plus 36, so I lost like 33 seconds all overall in the chapter. And I was like, whatever, if I have a perfect Chapter 6 and a perfect Chapter 7, I can still get a really good time on this run. So that was like what I thought, like going into Chapter 6. And mind you, this is my 4th tournament race. I've gotten Lake Skip first try on every single other tournament race. This is the first one. This was the first one that Lake Skip gave me any trouble in like my last like 15 runs. So when I messed up Lake Skip the first time, I was like, whatever, I probably just missed a line. Tried it again. Then she dashed the wrong way. Then I died. And then I was like, okay, Madeline, you want to die? Sure, let's go kill you. And I went and I got the Kevin block and I launched it all the way across the room. And I was like, yep, when it comes back, it's going to kill me. And then it came back and it killed me. And then I restarted the chapter so that I could try to get like a decent Chapter 6 time.
Yeah.
And it actually would have been a really good Chapter 6 for me if she hadn't misdirect dashed at the second to last battle line screen. She dashed to the right instead of to the left. So
yeah, I saw that as well.
I don't know. I might need to like buy one of the screwdrivers on Amazon to open up an Xbox One controller, maybe like clean it out, because I don't actually own the screwdriver to open this controller, so I can't like clean it, and it's just like it's getting really frustrating. And if that kind of stuff happens to me like in the later stages of the tournament, like I would be like Like I wouldn't even come into the Discord because it's just
Yeah, it would
like,
be that tilting, you know.
I'm already someone who's like really hard on myself, so like it's bad enough that I beat myself up over my own mistakes. For the character to do things that are like outside of my control is like just so frustrating.
Yeah. Nothing to be said in like a derogatory manner at all, but it was very fun to watch the start of chapter 6. I must say.
No,
I know you were probably a little tilted, but it was funny stuff. At least you managed to keep it interesting for sure.
That's what I whenever I get mad, I try to make it at least enjoyable to watch if I'm being restreamed. Like if you ever watch any of my Link to the Past randomizer races, like if I got trolled by an item or something and then like I find it later, you'll see me doing like I'll start casting Quake and dropping bombs everywhere and like just going crazy. And just like I feel like at least if I can make it funny to watch, like it could relieve some of the stress for myself going forward.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good mentality to have for sure.
In randomizer though, you can't see what your opponent is doing, so like
Yeah.
I've actually lost races for like getting tilted and spamming Quake because there was a race. Well, I won't get too far into it, but basically I found an item that unlocked something right next to it, and I didn't check the thing right next to it because I forgot. And half an hour later, the boots were there, and I was just like, "Oh my god, are you serious?"
That's rando, dude. That's really rando in a nutshell.
So I'm gonna try to do a full clear of summon here while my opponent finishes up.
Yeah.
And then,
feel free.
I'll say GG to him again from Twitch chat, but
yeah,
I'm gonna get off because my controller.
Yeah,
is loud.
yeah, that's totally fine. So yeah, good luck with your. Yeah, no problem. Good luck with that the controller problem, and hopefully it either fixes itself or you're able to fix it somehow.
Yep. Thank you.
And GG's again on the race.
Thanks again.
All right. So Doroco now in Summit. Well, I was talking to Benteezy. He did complete Chapter 6. Making his way through the 500-meter section. Unfortunately, not making it up the first time or the second time. Good thing that the good thing is about that though is the refresh crystal is right there, so he's able to get his stamina back. The refresh crystals, I can actually talk about this because I hadn't mentioned it. The refresh crystals not only give you your dashes back when you run into them, but they also do replenish stamina as well, which is very nice. Good job of Doroco on that lock switch screen. And will he take the long path or the short path? He's going to elect for the long path, which is completely fine. Oh, unfortunate death there, though. He is gonna run into the corner there. That's no problem at all, though. He'll recover from that just fine. Doroco making his way through this section now into the last room. Unfortunately, just missing that dash block. Or that not the dash block, my apologies. The dream block. Making it through. Onto the 1500-meter section. Now it'll be interesting to see how he handles this section. Like I said, very punishing. Some of the rooms in this section very long. Very mean. Whoa, narrowly escaping that first one without a death. Wow, that's an interesting strat there for sure. Wow! I have no idea, not to take away from that, I have no idea how he did not die in that lock switch room. Wow. Also, it's also worth mentioning. Goodness gracious. It's also worth mentioning for sure that Doroco runs on keyboard as well, and Benteezy runs on controller. Not that there's a hindrance or a handicap on either of them for sure. They're both completely viable, and there are some very good keyboard runners in the community for sure. Just felt that was worth mentioning for sure. Doroco not going through the floor here. He'll take the traditional way over, which is just barely slower than the bottom route. Into the last room of 1500. Doroco has done very, very well at this section. I may have ruined it. Oh, the commentator's curse not coming in though. Very happy. That was a very, very good section from Doroco. As now he moves into 2,000 meters. Doroco taking the lower path here, which is easier for a runner of his caliber for sure. The wind, unfortunately, taking a toll on him there. This room usually causes some troubles. Oh, unfortunate. I think he tried to bounce off of the snowball there to get his dash back, and unfortunately took a death instead. That would have been a very nice save, and another death to the snowballs. This is what I mean about the snowballs. They can be very, very annoying at times. Narrowly getting into that green ball there. And able to make it through without problem. Probably won't be seeing an auto-scroller skip here from Doroco. I highly doubt it, at least, unless he's willing to try it. No, we'll just see the traditional way for this one, which is very respectable for sure. Oh, but I think he is going to do the... Oh, no! That's unfortunate! I think he did want to try the corner bounce there, but unfortunately couldn't do it. And again, unfortunately, no way through that room without that block. This time taking an even safer strat. Oh, just barely making it to the block. Oh my goodness. Had to hold my breath there for him for sure. For a less experienced runner, it can be very difficult to make it through some of those auto-scroller rooms. Because some of these rooms are very, very tough on a casual play, for sure, when first getting used to the movement and whatnot. Doroco able to make it through that long wind room can be a bit difficult at times, for sure. Ooh, Doroco getting the extended hyper dash there. Very good stuff from Doroco in that room. Impressive, especially for someone who doesn't run 80%. I mean, you guys are seeing history for Doroco right now. Never completed an any percent run. At least no submitted time for any percent. Finally making it through the 2,000 meter section into the 2,500 now. Yeah, guys, let's get some hype in the chat for Doroco here. Come on. Very big stuff for him. And in fact, he didn't even know this was being restreamed until just earlier. So, he said he was going to be extra nervous because of that, so make sure to cheer him on. This room can be a bit troublesome, especially if you're trying to do it the quick way. However, he will do it the normal way. Probably not going to go for a key skip. Oh, he is going to go for a key skip here. Takes a death. Gets it on the second try. Nice stuff from Doroco. Still saved him time over going all the way down. That's very impressive. Also narrowly avoiding a death there. And another. Doroco doing the stuff of dreams. Oh my goodness. That's an exact spot where you can see that the spike hitboxes are smaller than the sprite themselves. Will he go for door skip? No. I didn't expect it anyways, but it would have been really funny to see him try. It's Doroco about to finish up and get to the final climb here. When he gets up there, I want to see you guys counting checkpoints with him. Come on. Oh, narrowly avoiding a death there, but he does escape, no problem. And now into the final climb. Very good stuff with those dashes there from Doroco as well. But yeah, let's get the countdown in the chat as he hits a flag, or as he hits each flag, sorry. To be completely honest, the room that he just did with those refresh crystals, I had no idea it was possible to do with just diagonal dashes. Oh, I was gonna say, is he going to keep that checkpoint? Wow. Very nice stuff so far from Doroco. Absolutely fizzing his way through this section. Oh, and unfortunately the commentator's curse makes its second grand appearance in this match. But he really is just speeding through this. Again, it's worth noting, he's never finished, I'm not sure, at least not documented, a finished any percent run. So this is huge. Now in the updraft section as well. If Doroco does hit an hour and 12 minutes, which I don't think he will, that would mean that he doubled Benteezy's time. Just a little fun fact, because I can do math. Will he make it through Flag 13 fine is the question. This can be very punishing if he dies at the end. Oh, readjust! You would have been fine had he not tried to readjust his positioning. That's unfortunate. You can imagine that he's nervous right now as well. Coming on the end now of this updraft section. This part can be a little bit tricky. Gets through that, no problem though. Good stuff. This coming down to the end now for Doroco, and unfortunately, seeing as this race has taken so long, we won't have time for a word with Doroco. Doroco's made it to flag 1 now, closing off the run. Very good stuff. This is his first finished any percent run, or first documented any percent run. And there it is. A 1:10:40 to finish things off for Doroco. 1:10:41. I correct myself. Apologies. GG's to Doroco in his first documented finished any percent run for sure. So well done to both runners. And as I said before, unfortunately, we're not going to have time for a word with Doroco, but sit right where you are. Stay tuned, because we've got another race coming up. Another Celeste race coming up between Tidal and Tigerson. So you guys make sure you stick around. GG's to the runners. Make sure you follow the runners as well. Follow the runners on their channels. And feel free to follow me at GDTog on Twitch as well. And I do believe that's about it. So thank you so much for watching, guys. And stick around for some more Celeste.
Hello everyone, welcome to Celeste Any Tournament. This is going to be a race between Tigerson and Tidal. And this looks like it's going to be a very, very cool race, at least based on the PBs on Ezra.com. Very close PBs. Tigerson with a 37.17 and Tidal with a 38.01. Very close, within a minute of each other. And these are 38-37 minute players, so we're going to see some pretty high level of play here. So this should be a very entertaining race. I'm really looking forward to it. Our runners have been waiting a while. I think they're champing at the bit, but you haven't heard that phrase in a while. Yeah, looks like they've given themselves each other's names to make sure we're not going to be cheating. And I think they're going to be ready to go pretty soon. For those who may be new to this game, Celeste is a game, precision platformer, about a young woman who wants to climb a mountain, just because. And stuff happens, and it's great. It's really good. The story is good. The gameplay is fantastic. The controls feel great. The soundtrack is great. Great game for both casual and speed gaming. Looks like we've switched layouts. I suspect the race will be started at any moment now. Just jumping right in. Looks like Taggerson has tagged his opponent with his name. I hear the sounds of prologue. I think the commentary stream might be frozen right now. The prologue basically just teaches you your dash. And the main movements of this game are the dash, the climb, and the jump. And they're going to be combined in various ways to move very quickly through some of these levels. Going to start right off with Forsaken City. Basic level, one of the shortest levels of the game. World record for this level is just under a minute. Unfortunately, I can only guess what's happening right now. We're having some edges to the commentary stream, but I can tell you that we will be seeing the runners make their way through these levels with various speed mechanics, usually done by dashing and then jumping, either along the ground, a dash and then a jump along the ground, or a dash up against a wall and then a jump. And these can be combined in various ways to give you momentum and keep your momentum as they fly along these screens. The zippers that you just heard are one of the features of City, where when you grab them, activate them, by landing on them or grabbing them, they move along a path, and you can get momentum from those moving blocks that will send you flying if you use them correctly. Pretty much every moving object in this game can give you momentum in one way or another, and we're going to see a lot of that used by these runners. Sounds like the runners have just finished Chapter 1. Oh, looks like the race is going to be restarted because of the issues with the commentary stream. So hang on tight, people. Consider that a warm-up. I hope you appreciate my attempts at blind commentary. All right, looks like both runners saw that we're restarting the race, so there won't be any awkwardness there, so that's nice. By the way, big props to the Speed Gaming team for all the support, setting up this tournament, and just being so great. And I am seeing movement down in the commentary stream, so that is a good sign. Although it did stop again, so hopefully that's just temporary. Just coordinating with the Speed Gaming staff to make sure that this is going to work okay. So just stand by, people. This is going to be an awesome race. Just give us a couple minutes to work out these issues. No problem. So yeah, the Speed Gaming staff is just asking me to pass on that, yeah, we're having some technical difficulties. We will be back underway very soon. So don't change that channel. Don't touch that dial. You know how that goes. Could see this as a decent opportunity to explain a little bit more in depth what this game is about and what we're going to be seeing. So as I said, Celeste's game, you're a girl trying to climb a mountain. And mountain has interesting properties in which it kind of brings out the darker parts of yourself, the reflection of yourself that you may not want to deal with, some problems, whatever, your fears, your inner demons. So the climb to the summit is both a challenge for the platforming, and it's also we get a challenge from sort of the psychological viewpoint of the character. And it's a decent story, and it's a really good game casually. I mean, this is my first Speed game I've ever played. And I only got into it because I loved the game casually so much. I mean, I never even really heard of speedrunning before. I mean, I've heard of it, but just as kind of a fringe thing, kind of weird, you know? Bunch of weirdos trying to shave off milliseconds of Super Mario Bros. Or something. But anyway, yeah, apparently speedrunning community is pretty awesome. Really glad I got into it. Really positive people, a great community, and the game is just really, really fun. I mean, both casually and in the speedrun. It's just really fun. So, props to Matt Makes Games for making such a great game. Just catching up on chat now. Hey, my fellow weirdos. So for anyone who was able to catch Chapter 1, could probably go a little bit more into some of the speed tech, because it's pretty hard to talk about when the run is really underway and there's a lot of stuff going on. So as I said, most of the speed tech comes from basically getting yourself a lot of momentum, either by using moving objects in the environment, or more commonly by dashing and then jumping. And the thing about dashing and jumping is that you lose your speed a lot faster on the ground than the air. So basically, if you're in the air, you're going to be decelerating a lot slower. So a lot of the speed tech in this game is based around just trying to get a lot of speed and then trying to stay in the air as long as possible, so that the dragging along the ground doesn't slow you down too much. So there's a lot of aerial movement. We're going to see some really cool hops and jumps and just some really neat movement by these players. Like one of the big kind of things that chain together a lot of these moves is called the bunny hop, and it's basically just a simple jump, but it tends to be a jump that happens when you're going at high speed, and it just lets you keep the momentum. It looks like the stream seems to be in better shape now, so I think we'll probably be starting pretty soon. The runners are just practicing. Just to give you a little hint of what's to come. Another very cool thing about this game is just the variation of the mechanics in the game. There are 7 chapters in total, and pretty much almost every chapter introduces a lot of new stuff. Like, not just one new mechanic, but, at least 2 or 3 in each chapter. And sometimes you get, mechanics from old chapters coming back in. So, while I would say, like, this game, it is a precision platformer, it's not quite as precise as, say, a game like maybe Super Meat Boy, where all you have is, like, your jump and your wall jump, and it just comes to, like, frame perfect, pixel perfect, like, decisions on exactly how to start and release your jump and stuff like that. There's a little more movement involved. There's grabbing, there's jumping, there's dashing, and there isn't that many like frame and pixel perfect movement involved. But it's really just about the execution and chaining them together in the right ways to move through these screens fluidly, as quickly as possible. It looks like we are getting started in just a moment here. Getting this psyched. This should be good. If both players play like their PBs, which you never know in a race, but hopefully they will, or better, this will be very close and fun to watch. I mean, it should be fun to watch even if it's not close, but I hope it's close for both the player's sake and the audience sake, because it's always fun. I think the runners are just about ready to start. Probably just waiting on that countdown right now. It's actually kind of nice to be able to give a sort of a lengthy introduction before things really get started, because this game moves very quickly. All right, here we go. So we start off with the prologue. The main thing to watch here is just we have the bird here teaching you how to climb. The runners here are going to be jumping a lot, just because every single jump you make saves about 2 frames over just walking. Quick cutscene skip there. Oh no, the bridge is collapsing. All right. Nice deathless prologue from both players, and now the bird teaches you how to dash. There we go. Little tutorial teaching you all your basic movement. And a nice little inspirational message there as well. That's the one unskippable cutscene of the game, is the section telling you you can do this. Started now in Forsaken City. Right away, with the speed tech from these players, we got dash jumps, dashing along the ground and jumping. We got wall bounces, dashing up along a wall and then jumping to get that big vertical momentum. We're seeing just on title screen right there, he totally skipped the intended way of doing that screen by just doing a wall bounce off of that zipper. The reverse hyper from Tagerson to get clear over those spikes. Both runners really neck and neck right now. Some crumbling blocks there, no problem. Tagerson just doing a wave dash, Title doing the same, over that big gap. Don't even have to use that zipper. So with this, with the hyper dash, which is that long horizontal dash across the ground, if you time it correctly, you can do that dash and still get your dash back, which lets you cross huge distances. Tagerson finishing Chapter 1 with a very respectable less than 2 minute total time. Let's see, I didn't quite catch the time on that IL, but that was a very nice time. And Title just coming up right on his heels, though about 10 seconds behind right now. All right, Tagerson starting right where he left off, but he's in a dream sequence right now. This is Chapter 2 called Old Sight. So first he ventures into the depths of this castle. We see some nice skips of the casual way to do this room by using that extended hyper dash, just going right under all those big sections of wall jumps. And here we have the dream blocks, which you dash through. They're like jelly, space jelly. You dash through them, you go straight out the other side. If there's solid wall on the other side, then you're in trouble. Then you die. Tagerson did this. We just saw it on title screen. There's the one glitch in this game, really. It's called. It's just isn't even really a name for it. It's just a cutscene skip glitch where you can sort of move your position horizontally and teleport yourself right into that dream block to save yourself a second or two. Both Title and Tagerson now in the battle and chase section of Chapter 2. They're being chased by the dark part of themselves, who is on a 3-second delay, but otherwise copies all of their actions. So if you're going slow, she'll go slow. If you're going fast, she'll go fast. So gotta watch out. Not really a problem until the last couple screens, where you actually have to backtrack a little bit. Ooh, Tagerson getting a little caught up there, attempting that downward dash, and ending up taking a death at the end of a long room. Deaths in this game are a lot more punishing at the end of long rooms because when you die, you generally get teleported back to the beginning of the screen. So the longer that room is, and the later you die in it, the worse that death is. Tagerson is basically out of danger now. He has passed the chase. Now all that's left for him in Chapter 2 is this long, very movement-based section. It's a little harder for the speedrun than it appears. There isn't actually any lethal danger, but there are a lot of things that can stop your momentum in its tracks. Just getting yourself caught up on a ledge or on a spring like he just did there. But he recovered pretty nicely. We're seeing some ultra dashes from these runners in this section a little bit. Ultras are when you have hyper speed and you do a downward diagonal dash, and it just kind of changes that speed. Speed is uncapped, and that's a great way to get sort of that uncapped speed. It's a pretty advanced strat, so you usually only see it sprinkled in by the higher level runners. Title still finished up the Awake section, that last section, but he's not too far behind Tagerson, who is now entering the Celestial Resort. This is Chapter 3. He just grabbed a key to open that door, so he actually used a screen transition to refresh his dash there in order to get that key without using the normal route. Very nice movement through those cycles. Celestial Resort, basically full of these cycles with these dust bunnies moving around in circles, moving back and forth. If you touch them, you're dead, so you've got to avoid them. Another little interesting thing about this section is that if you die in a room, the cycles that the dust bunnies are on are going to be a little bit different than if you just enter the room. So sometimes runners will want to learn 2 different strats for a room in case they end up dying. Sometimes it doesn't matter as much. Or you might see some runners sometimes either restarting at the beginning of a room in order to catch the death cycle they may be more familiar with, or you might see them leave and re-enter a room in order to catch the entrance cycle if they're not used to the death cycle. So we'll see what these runners choose to do. Tagerson definitely has a pretty solid lead at this point. Though it's not that much. It's definitely still reversible. But he's just finishing out the reception section right now. He's about to enter the huge mess. Title still going for that key. This is huge mess. Pretty tricky room to move around in. Very cluttered, very cramped. The goal of this section is to clean up this mess. There are going to be 3 buttons that they have to push, and oh wow, almost a retry there from Tagerson. That would have been disastrous, but he managed to avoid doing that. Just on a side note, the skip cutscene button in this game is on the same menu position as retry, which basically kills you. So if you don't hit that cutscene trigger and you try to skip the cutscene, you're just going to commit suicide instead. So that's not something that you want to do. All right, Tagerson just hit the first button. He's on his way to the other 2. And Title also just now making his way into that section where he's going to hit the first button. So Tagerson about 1 sort of third of this section ahead. Ooh, taking a death there. Title trying to do, oh, he got it on the second try. A little spike jump. We call it a spike jump. It's actually just a wall jump off the spikes. Neat little speed tech. It's only used in a couple places, but it saves some time. This area is pretty neat in terms of game design, because every section you clear out, you'll see that the corresponding blocks disappear, and that actually makes the following sections a little bit harder because there are less platforms and walls to bounce off of, and there's a little more hazards. Speedrunners tend to have a pretty set route for this section, just because of the positioning of Oshiro, the hotel manager at the end of each section that you need to talk to in order to progress. Takerson took a quick death there, not a very costly one. And he just pushed his third button, so he's going to be grabbing the key from the middle of Huge Mess, which is not a huge mess anymore, and he's going to be heading right into the elevator shaft. As Tidal goes for that third button now, so still pretty close behind. Still a close race. Takerson, nice work with that, very nice ultra from the elevator shaft into this room. Very long room here, can be punishing if you die. Let's hope Takerson can get it. Oop, he died at the end there. This can be a pretty rough room. He got the wall bounce this time. There, all the way through. And Tidal now joining him in elevator shaft. Tidal making up some time now because of a few deaths by Takerson there. Here we have Takerson that's entering the room. Very nice chained hypers there. That room is actually very difficult casually. I'd argue it's even easier to do the 4 hypers in that room to get through it. He did that perfectly. Once you grab the key, you can just retry and death warp back to the beginning because keys stick with you after death. Revolution in chat is reminding us that the postcard for this chapter says that be proud of your death count. It means you're learning. Very true, especially in a game like this. Takerson has entered the Oshiro section of the game. Oshiro, the bad part of yourself has pissed him off, and he is now chasing you because you call this hotel a jump. So he charges at you horizontally across the screen. And the challenge is just getting through these levels, getting through these cycles without getting hit by him. Tidal just following on his heels into the Oshiro section. Takerson now in the last room of Oshiro. Very long room here. Let's see if he can do it in one go. It's a very punishing room if you die, just because of its length, as I mentioned before. And he does it no problem. Very nice. Very nice chapter 3. I'm not getting great resolution here, so I can't tell what his time actually was, but I think that was a very good chapter 3 by him. And Tidal is really not very far behind at all. Just about to enter the final room. Just switching to Takerson's audio there because he's ahead. Takerson is now in the Golden Ridge. So whereas in the previous levels you were dealing with your personal demons and this actual ghost demon, and in Golden Ridge it's just you against the mountain. It's one of the shorter chapters if you can speedrun it well. Golden Ridge is interesting to speedrun because there are a lot of very small skips that just save a little bit amount of time, but they do add up. But it's definitely a hard one to do well consistently. We have these bouncy clouds, they act like trampolines. Takerson just used them to do one of the dash speed techs off of it, which lets him get a lot of speed and a lot of height off of it. That's pretty cool. Another spike jump by Takerson there as well. Takerson following him into Golden Ridge. 2 wall bounces there by Takerson to get up. I suspect Takerson is going to now go for a little bit of an auto-scroller skip here. Oh, he actually got squished under that block. I haven't seen that before. So he's going to be retrying that. And here we go. Oh, he missed that too. He got caught on that ledge there, trying to get that bunny hop across. Title does have a chance to make up some time here with these deaths. Ooh, another failure. Ooh, that's pretty costly for Tigerson to fail that auto-scroller skip so many times. And he's going for it again, and he got it this time. Very nice. Title definitely catching up right now. All right, Tigerson moving along the old trail now. Another death. Not as bad a one as the auto-scroller skip, which Title is probably going to be going for right now, so we'll see how he does. Let's see if he can make up some time here. Looks like he's going to be going for the slightly easier strat, but he got it on the first try, so he did save a lot of time there. And Tigerson now entering one of the longer auto-scrollers. This one can't really be skipped RTA. I mean, it's technically possible. It has been done by a human. I don't think we're going to see any runners go for it in the tournament. It's just insane to try to do that. It's really a task strat to try to get past that one. Oh, I apologize. That auto-scroller skip was second try for Title. But still saving time, I think. Title now on the second auto-scroller skip. Tigerson now in a cliff face. Cliff face features very strong wind. You also see these snowballs now. Snowballs, like Oshiro, they come at you horizontally based on where you are. They don't give you as much warning, though, as Oshiro does. A lot of runners have gotten the snowball in their face and ended a screen pretty badly like that. Tigerson making his way pretty well so far. Nice cycle skip by Title there to get into the cliff face section as well. One of the things about cliff face is that the wind is so strong here, it's almost impossible to make any headway without dashing or using speed tech involving dashing. Tigerson just finishing chapter 4. Very nice. Fortunately, I can't exactly see what that IL timer is saying, but I can tell just by watching them that these runners are on pretty good pace here. All right, as Title is finished up the last few rooms of Golden Ridge, Tigerson is now in the Mirror Temple. So we see right off the bat, as usual in Celeste in the new chapter, there are several new mechanics. We have the red bubbles you see right now in Tigerson's screen that move. They're like the blue bubbles in we saw in chapter 4. I'm not sure I explained those, but they're pretty self-explanatory. But these red bubbles will move infinitely in any direction until you dash out of them, until they hit something. We also have the dash blocks, which, like the traffic blocks in chapter 1, move along a rail. But these blocks move when you dash, which leads to some pretty interesting kind of puzzle situations sometimes, and can open up a lot of interesting speed tech. Tigerson looks like he's going to go for a pretty... Oh, wow. Okay. He got a big speed boost there, but he didn't quite get the bunny hop that he was looking for. So that skip kind of failed, but he still recovered pretty well. Title following right behind, entering the temple. Tigerson taking a little developer-intended skip there. There's actually a secret involving that shortcut to get a secret collectible, but we don't bother with that. We just use it to go faster. Title still just a few screens behind. Really keeping up very well. And Tigerson now entering the mirror. So here's where the Mirror Temple starts to get a little spooky. We're first introduced to these Seekers by playing as one. These are some of the more dangerous enemies we're going to see in this game. Wow, moving very quickly through that Seeker section. That was very impressive. So the Seekers are enemies. They track your movement. They try to dash towards you. They're going to try to eat you. So we don't want to be eaten. So let's hope that they can avoid them. Seekers can be used to knock into switches that the runners will need to use in order to progress. So we're going to see some manipulation of these creatures in order to get through these rooms a little bit faster. And Title just now entering the mirror as well. Still very close behind. And his IGT timer is a little bit behind as well, so the lead of Tigerson is not as big as it looks right now. Still a very close race. We just saw Tigerson bait one of the Seekers into hitting one of the coins while he collected another one. Nice little speed start there. A little bit of a fumble there. Ooh, and a death. Not a long room. Nice Ultra. Another Ultra. Didn't quite knock him into the coin, but the explosion of the Seeker respawning did get the coin anyway, so. This is one of the trickier rooms that Tigerson is in right now of the Seeker section. A lot of coins to collect. There's a lot of ways that these strats could go wrong in this room. He did that very nicely. So Tigerson coming out of Unraveling and into the search section. This section now includes one of the biggest, probably I guess the biggest time save of this game. He's coming to it right now, and he just got it first try. Basically by doing a couple tricky movements through that big tunnel of spikes, he is able to completely avoid about 2 minutes of gameplay, 2 to 3 minutes. Title now finishing up this final Unraveling room, that tricky one. Looks like he's doing okay. We'll see if that Seeker plays along. Pretty close one there. Wow, really playing it close with the Seeker, but he makes it through. Tigerson now going to bait the Seeker into hitting that block so he can collect the coin. And now he's through Search and into Rescue. So Rescue has some of the weirdest movement of the game, because you have to get this Theo who's trapped in the crystal. You have to escort him to the exit. And you can't dash while you're carrying Theo. He slows you down. But you can throw him and then dash and then catch him and do movements like that in order to move quickly through. But it does add a lot of complication to the movement. Title is still keeping up really well. He is also just a few screens from entering the Theo section. Tigerson missing that hyper, but still moving along well. He got caught on that ledge, so he didn't get that epic speed boost, but he did make it through that room quite well. Tigerson as dropping Theo there. Nice recovery though. We're seeing a lot of nice recoveries from these players. Big part of doing well in Celeste is being able to improvise when things go wrong, because things are going to go wrong. As we just saw now in Tigerson's screen, ooh, the very nasty death there. That was a very costly one. Just got caught with Theo hitting the wall, and then the Seeker got him. But fine on the second try. This room, Tigerson now in the last room of Mirror Temple. He has to fight through these pulses of energy that are going to try to push him back and kill his momentum. And finally throws Theo into the eyeball to finish off Chapter 5. Very nice. Title, meanwhile, working his way about halfway through the Theo section, so still really just a few rooms behind. This is still anyone's race. Very cool to watch such a close race. I mean, Tigerson has kept up his lead pretty much most of the game, but the Title has really kept up the entire time. Tigerson now entering Reflection, Chapter 6. So we see right off the bat, one of the new mechanics here is the Feather. One of the most kind of free-flowing techs in the game. The Feather basically allows you to fly omnidirectionally for a period of time. Tigerson now trying for Lake Skip, fails once and then dies on the second attempt, and he gets it on the third try. So he might have lost a little time overusing the Kevin, but I suspect we'll see Title go for Lake Skip as well, though we'll see. So unless Title gets it on the first try, that's still a pretty nice time save. So along with the feathers in Chapter 6, we also have the Kevin blocks, or Crusher blocks. If you dash into them from the side, they will grumble at you and move very quickly along. So you can get a lot of momentum from them. But they can also crush you if you're not careful, so gotta watch out. Tigerson using a little tech there called the neutral jump to let him get up. Ooh, well, we just saw a Crusher block live up to its name. Tigerson on the second try succeeding, basically using some speed tech there off the Kevin in order to move that crumbling block out of the way before the Kevin reaches it. Tigerson used his dash a little early there, so he didn't get that wall bounce he wanted at the end, but he recovered okay. Tidal still just a few screens behind. A lot of rooms, I mean, throughout the whole game, but also a lot of reflection. We're going to see a lot of strats that rely on doing hyper dashes into the screen transition, and then using that momentum to clear the room a lot faster. It's a technique that's used a lot throughout the game. Tidal there with the neutral jump. He's going to go for the Kevin Sickle as well. Actually, he's not going to go for it. That's fine. He actually saved a bit of time there over Tagerson by not trying and failing that strat. Tagerson struggling a little bit with that bumper room. Bumpers are like pinball bumpers. They'll knock you back if you hit them. So you can use them to get ahead, but they can also be a hindrance depending on the room and the situation. Tagerson taking the top route here. In hollows, there are actually multiple routes to take. You usually don't see runners go for the top route in this section, but sometimes they do. The task does save some time there, but most RTA runners find the bottom route faster. But Tagerson got through that room very quickly, so I think he just is more comfortable with the speed strat in that room. Tagerson is finished with hollows with the multi-route section. And he's now going to be entering the starting to enter the getting to the battle line fight. So there are going to be a couple of cool things we're going to see on his side. I suspect we're going to see the developer. Yep, here we go. He's dropping right through these tiny gaps in the crystal. A little developer intended shortcut. Very nice first try, especially that last one. Very tricky to get through. Little brief underwater section. Fun fact, that whole chapter 6 is going to be underwater until someone informed Matt that no one actually likes those levels, so thanks to him for cutting most of that out. Oh, some swag there. I think he's going to go for the battle and boost. Here we go. Oh, he got caught on that wall, so that kind of stopped the battle and boost in its tracks. We'll see if Tidal tries to go for it too. It's a pretty cool strat. All right, Tagerson now entering the battle line fight, so we can get our hey-yas into chat now, if you are so inclined. So this is the same entity who chased you in Chapter 2. Now the tables have turned and you're chasing her. So you're going to try to run into her over and over to get into these screens. A pretty long fight. This is the kind of the main story conflict of the game. So you could call this the boss battle. You'll see she has 2 attacks she can use. She has the fireballs, sometimes double fireballs, and then she has this laser that she'll shoot at you sometimes as well. So just trying to weave in those attacks and get into her face as quickly as possible without getting hit. Looks like Tidal just got a pretty nice battle and boost there, using the momentum off the Kevin to launch himself straight into Battlin's face. So nice save on his part. And I'm just going to mention it again. Tidal is right behind Tagerson. This is still a really close race. Like, Tagerson has kept up his lead the entire time, but this is ridiculously close. Tagerson using momentum to get into the room to get past a very slow start of that room to avoid using that bumper. Very fast movement here. 2 dashes, dashing right into her face just before she could fire that laser. Very close call. A lot of these speed strats rely on some pretty close calls, trying to get right up in her face right before she can fire off whatever she's trying to get at you. Tagerson now entering the phase 2 of the fight, which is mostly the same, but now she's controlling moving blocks that are going to be starting to move back and forth, just to add a little more chaos to the scene. Some spicy hypers off of these moving blocks, using the momentum of the last block to get the height necessary to dash over. And here we have the second to last room of the battle-in fight, I believe. No problems. Last room now. Very long room here. That was a pretty decent death to get in this room because it was right at the beginning. Lots of feather action. Not stopping to get that feather. Oh, wow. That was incredibly close call on that laser. But he made it through. Very nice. And by the way, Tidal now entering phase 2 as well, so he's still very close behind. This is really ridiculous. Tigerson has just leveled up. Basically, he has pink hair now, signifying that he has 2 dashes he can use in the air instead of just 1 before he has to refresh his dash. And we're going to see that used a lot in the Summit, which is the final chapter, which is coming up next on Tigerson's screen, and not too long from now on Tidal, who is making his way through the second to last battle and fight room right now. Alright, as Tidal mops up the battle and fight, Tigerson is moving into Summit. And Summit is a really cool level. It also the longest level by far in the game. It's about, for runners at this level, I would say that the Summit is probably about 1/3 of the whole run. Oh wow, that was an interesting little skip by Tigerson. I've never seen that before. Totally skipping that spring. So the gimmick of Summit is that you basically are reclimbing the mountain now with 2 dashes. And we're going to go through all of these sections that we've seen before, except the levels are redesigned a little bit more difficult and more spacious, and they're designed for 2 dashes now. So now we have Tigerson entering 500 meters. This is the city section, reminiscent of the first chapter of the game. We have the zippers again. It's very cool to also, the soundtrack here has the same melody throughout of the Summit, but each section has a different kind of changes to the kind of feel of the tune to reflect each chapter that you've already been through. It's a really nice kind of overture of the whole game that you've been through. And Tidal also, by the way, entering Summit right now, hot on Tigerson's heels. At the end of each of these Summit sections, we're going to be seeing these purple battle line orbs. Ooh, nice save by Tigerson. Missing those dashes, but managing to grab the gem so that he can not die. These orbs, you have to collect them in sequence, and then the last one will boost you up into the next section of the game. So Tigerson now entering 1,000 meters, which is the old site section, so we have the Return of the Dream blocks now. I wonder if we're going to see any of our runners here go for the Dream Hypers, which is a relatively new tech that was discovered where you can actually hyper dash out of the Dream blocks. It's pretty tricky, so I'm not sure we're going to see it. Oh, Tigerson just did it. Very nice. It's a pretty risky strat because it only saves a little bit of time, but if you fail it, you're almost certainly going to die just because of what happens if you fail, which is usually a dash downward, which will kill you in most cases. But Tigerson getting through that very nicely. Kind of mixing in normal movement along with the hypers. Tidal still just 1 section behind as Tigerson moves into Chapter 3 section. Tidal will be moving into the Chapter 2 section. 1,500 meters, the Chapter 3 section. One of the toughest spots of the game, for sure. The cycles come back with a vengeance, and a lot of really hard, tough rooms here. Tigerson making his way so far through with no problem whatsoever. This is a very punishing room with here. It looks like Tigerson is going for the... Oh, he was going for a really spicy cycle skip there, but he did take an unfortunate death. He looks like he's going to go for it again. He does have to wait there for a bit, so he does not quite get the cycle. Didn't quite get the cycle that he wanted, but still getting through that room a second try. Very nice. Let's see if he's going to go for the ultras here. I think he is. Oh, he missed the dash gem, so he's going to have to retry there. Very nice ultras, and now a 3rd ultra. Wow, really nice room. That's one of the coolest strats in the game for sure. Getting a little bit impatient, I think. But still doing all right. Only a few screens away from the end of 1,500 as Tidal now finishes up 1,000 meters. Tigerson has managed to maintain his lead this entire game so far, but he's still only a couple of really bad mistakes away from a lead change. So this has really been exciting to watch. Having a little trouble getting up there into the berry section here. It's slightly faster to go this route. Tidal finishing up that long 1,500-meter room with no problems. There's a long snowball room here on Tackerson's side. Let's see if he gets through it in one go. Oh, he didn't get his full dashes back on the last one, so he died at the very end. It's unfortunate. He got it on the second try, though. Unfortunately, I missed seeing if Tidal went for the Ultra Strat there in the room. Ooh, Tackerson missing the auto-scroller skip on the first try. Let's see, he's going to for sure go for it again. Alright, that looks clean this time. So you can get a lot of momentum off that, and then a final little cheeky wall bounce off that little nub there. It doesn't look like it's possible, but it is. And Tidal now in the same section as Tackerson, both in 2,000 meters. Tidal catching up ever so slowly. The casual strat in Tackerson's room right now uses most of those moving platforms. Tackerson just skips them all. We don't need them. Tidal taking a slightly slower route through the big snowball room, but he makes it through in one piece, so that's a success. And a first try auto-scroller script from Tidal. And yeah, he finishes it off okay, so that's going to save him some time as well. Tackerson now in 2,500 meters. A lot of cool skips in this section. Let's see how many Tackerson can get. Wave dash off of that dash block for huge momentum. Oh, he didn't get the double wave dash he was looking for. He's going to try it again. Ooh, again, overshooting it a little bit. He gets it on the third try. Tackerson now going for key skip. It's a little skip that lets you skip a bottom room where you would take a red bubble up. He gets it, death warps back to the entrance. Tidal just about to finish up 2,500 meters. Both in the same section again. Ooh, very nice needle thread by Tackerson there. He's going for door skip. He got part 1. He got part 2. First try door skip. Very nice. Just a 1-second time save, but very swag. Tidal also having some trouble in this double wave dash room. But he takes a slightly safer route there. He didn't die quite as much. Nice key skip from Tidal. And now Tackerson entering 30,000 meters, the final segment of the game. Ooh, nice little hidden wall bounce off of Tackerson. There's a little strat there you can do. There's actually a hidden wall hidden by clouds that you can wall jump off of. Tackerson now in downdraft. We see the wind from Chapter 4 comes back, but this time it's pushing downward. So basically gravity is increased. You can't jump as high, you can't dash as high. It's kind of hampers your movement a little bit. It kind of changes the way the whole movement works, so it's a little hard to get used to. Some trouble there from Tackerson, but he's okay. Tidal finishing up 2,500 meters. He's about to join Tackerson in 3,000 meters. I would say that this lead by Tackerson right now is probably a little hard to overcome at this point, but we'll see what happens. You never know. Tackerson finishing up downdraft, now entering updraft. The wind has stopped moving downward, it's going to start going upward, just as Tidal enters downdraft. So with the updraft, we have lower gravity, higher jumps, floatier falling. It sounds nice. It can be a little bit of a hamper to speedrunners just because of the slow falling. So occasionally we might see the runners try to fall a little bit faster by holding down And you'll see Madeline get kind of really skinny when that happens. One of the most punishing flags here of the summit. And Tigerson, ooh, nice, kind of a risky upward diagonal dash there, but he makes it just fine. And then with the neutral wall jump around the spikes. Just 10 checkpoints left for Tigerson. This, I'm not sure if Astro.com is up to date, but based on the time there for Tigerson, it looks like he's on a pretty good PB pace right now, actually. And let me just see. I think Title as well might be on PB pace. I don't know. I hope chat will let me know if the PBs are not updated. Very nice flag 13 from Title. Okay, it looks like it might not be up to date, and that Tigerson already has a 35. So maybe not a PB from him. Still a very nice run. He's finished up pretty soon now. He just hit flag 1, so this is basically the home stretch for him. It looks like he's going to be the winner. But really close race. Wow, it can't really be emphasized enough just how close this race was. Tigerson finishing with a 36-14, I believe that what was that? We'll see it again in just a moment. Uh, 36-14. Title just finished at the last few checkpoints here. Really nice race by Tigerson. Really nice run by Title. This was really fun to watch. Title has to wait a little bit for that dash gem to refresh itself because he missed one of those dashes. But that's fine. He didn't die. And now, Title in the home stretch. Just mopping up that mountain. And done. Very nice. GG. G freaking G. Let's see if any of our runners want to join us for a post-match interview. I think we will get Tigerson in here in just a moment.
What's up, Birdo?
Hey, Tigerson. GG, man.
Thanks.
That was a great run.
Oh, thank you.
That was really fun to commentate, man. How do you feel?
I feel good even though it wasn't a PB. I finally broke the streak of not being on a race. Three PBs in.
I got a little excited because I guess your SRCom score hasn't been updated yet. So I was like, wow.
I think Jared's just getting flooded right now.
Yeah, understandable. I think I submitted my PB from yesterday and hasn't been accepted yet.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He's busy.
I mean, this tournament
for
is
sure.
Just generating so many PBs.
Oh yeah, shout out to Jared. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, that guy is being run ragged. Dude, that was a great run.
Thank you.
And let's see, I'm trying to remember particular moments. You got a lot of cool stuff first try. First try door skip. Nice job on that one.
Oh yes, the most important one, of course.
It was definitely notable how great you were at turning some of these mistakes around. I saw a lot of nice improvisation from you.
Yeah,
well.
I think that's the whole thing with dying a lot. I think my first sub 40, I still had 100 deaths. So I'm definitely working on it. I'm still trying to lower that bad boy, but having 100 deaths and then over 100 deaths, that really gets to you. Like, and it's just gotten to the point where I'll know exactly when I need to give up. I'll just be like, boom, retry, and I'll just get right back into it. I don't really let a death get to me at this point.
Yeah, that's a really important skill, to know when you're doomed, when to not bother trying to save it, and when you can save it. Definitely notable, by the way, mentioning the death count. You have 48 deaths in this run. Taggerson finishing about 50 minutes behind you with 15 deaths. Really
that
goes
seems
to show.
To be. I don't understand how I do it, but that seems to be the average. I don't know.
I am totally in the same boat, by the way, man. My PB from yesterday was a 36:15 with about 44 deaths, I believe. So I guess we're sort of. I guess we have similar playstyles.
Yeah, I was definitely the most nervous going into title. Him being third seed, and once we got our groups put together, and I realized I was going against title, and I was like, oh, what's his PB? Oh, it's exactly a minute behind me.
Yeah, that's why I was really excited to commentate this race, just because looking how close the PBs were. And by the way, title was right behind you the entire run, literally the entire run. I mean,
man.
There weren't really any lead changes. You did manage to keep ahead the entire time, but like title was like never more than like a minute behind you. It was really cool.
Yeah, that 15 deaths. I'm really impressed with the 15 deaths. That's amazing. I can't imagine myself getting 15 deaths.
Yeah, I'd say probably time for title to start upping his speed strats a bit.
I think honestly, yeah, I think that's one of the key reasons is why I'm dying a lot, is because I'm always looking for new strats. I'm always stealing new strats. I'll see Bye-Bye do like this crazy thing. I'm like, I can do that. So then I'll just immediately throw it into my run, no practice at all. I just want to get everything in my run.
Yeah,
so
especially those ones that look so cool, like that.
Yeah, for example, I actually did put practice, but David Deku, he did this insane. I was absolutely impressed with his temple. And I was like, I want to do that. So I put some time into it. I didn't get it. I did not get it, but I tried my heart out on getting that.
Are you talking about the corner boost to
the triple
that
ultra
room? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that I was so astonished with that. I was like,
I did see that.
I gotta get that in there.
It was a valiant attempt. So GG, man, that was a great race. Thanks so much for racing for us.
Oh, thank you.
And congrats on your win.
Oh, thank you again.
I don't see Title in chat. I'm not sure if he's going to be joining us or not.
Oh well. I don't know if he PB'd or not.
I'm not sure. Being that SRCom is so behind date right now, I don't really want to say one way or another.
Okay, understandable. Yeah, GG's to Title. Did great, man.
I don't know. GG's to Title.
I don't know how close he was behind me because I don't really like to watch the stream, but yeah, if he was really that close behind me, then I'm glad to put on a good race.
By the end of the run, you were usually about 500 meters ahead of him.
Okay, so he was right on me.
Yeah, I mean, you were slowly increasing your lead as the run went on, but very slowly.
All right. Yeah, that's how I like to run.
Very cool to watch. Thanks for the great race, man.
Of course.
And thanks to all the viewers. Thanks to Speed Gaming for hosting this great tournament. Thanks to the runners. Follow the runners. Do it. It's good for your soul.
Yeah.
Follow Speed Gaming. Subscribe to Speed Gaming. Anyway, I guess I don't have that much more to say. Right. So, unless you have any final words, Taggerson.
Shoutouts to Revo for being
I'm just
really
getting word from chat that Title did PB. So let's get some PB hype for Title by about 30 seconds. 30-second PB.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, heck yeah. I'm not a cusser. Oh, what's up, Title?
How's it going?
Oh, hey, man. Welcome. GG, Title. Great job on the PB there.
Thanks, man. Feels good.
Oh, do you think you could speak up or increase your microphone a little bit? It's very hard to hear you.
He's working on it.
Yeah, I get it.
Is this better?
It's a little bit better.
Just
We
slightly.
can pretty much hear what you're saying.
Hey, you rock, man.
Yeah, man, you go crazy though.
That's what I like to do.
How do you feel, Title?
I feel like I'm finally getting to the point where I need to start doing the hard strats.
Yeah, we were just mentioning that 15 deaths, dude. That is extremely low death count, and a great time for that. But with a death count like that, you could be getting like 31s if you were doing some really tough strats.
Yeah, but that's kind of been my mindset while speedrunning this game. Is just start out with some base strats, get really good at them, push myself, and then when it's time, I feel like I have those strats down. It's time to challenge myself again with some new, harder stuff.
That sounds like a great play style and way to improve. I usually go a little more YOLO myself, but I definitely appreciate that slow and steady approach, and not really very slow once you get good at it. And I did see some great movements from you for sure. I don't know. I expect you probably weren't really following the race as you were in it, because that would be crazy. But I just want to let you know you were pretty much right behind Tigerson the entire race. You were just a little bit behind him the whole time. You're really keeping up a great pace. Great job.
We don't have a 10 o'clock, do we?
I don't think there's a 10 o'clock on this.
Okay, good.
On this channel, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, that's good, because I know we got delayed for a little bit there. Just some issues with the stream, I guess.
Yeah, I double-checked on the schedule beforehand, and I didn't see anything else on this channel,
Okay,
so
that's
I think
good.
we're chill.
Yeah, shout out to Cyclone, getting that stuff fixed as soon as he can.
Yeah,
He got
great
it fixed pretty much immediately, just a couple minutes, and he had it done.
Yeah, we really appreciate the Speed Gaming staff and everything that they're doing in order to keep this tournament running smoothly. So, what are you guys' next goals for this tournament?
Sub 30. Nah, for
Good
real.
luck with that.
I do want to get the 32. The 32 is very interesting.
What's your PB currently, if I may ask?
My PB is a 35.44 right now.
All right. Good luck getting that 32.
I really want to work for it. I want to get everything in there.
How about you, Title?
I mean, right now I'm just looking to, finish the group stage with the best average time possible. I guess I played the 1 seed, the 2 seed, and I was the 3rd seed in my group, so I'm feeling
nice.
pretty good going against the other matches.
Yeah, getting the hard ones out of the way early.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was debating between delaying Tagerson, because we're like the closest out of any two for me in this group. So I didn't know if I wanted to try to make up some ground first, but I think it was fun doing it right now. But here on out, I guess I'll just be trying to make that average time as small as possible, so
Right.
I have better seating in bracket.
Sometimes I think racing against a slightly better runner can help you a little bit by putting that pressure on yourself. But I mean, you can't count on that every time.
Yeah, every time I've raced, I've gone against somebody better than me, so I think that's why I didn't PB. I just didn't have that motivation, man. No, for real, Title was really close. He kept me going.
Yeah.
You watching the stream?
No, I heard the stuff. I'm definitely going to watch it later, because everybody's making it sound like it was really close.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't close in the sense of like lead changes all the time, but it was like basically it was a situation where like Tagerson, any like 1 or 2 big mistakes from you could have lost your lead potentially, up until I guess Summit, where the lead grew a little bit. But still, you guys even shared space in 2,500 meters, 2,000 meters. You were finishing up Tagerson as Title was entering it and stuff like that. So
Oh yeah,
very close to each
we were
other.
working it then.
Great race, guys. Really fun. Thank you so much.
Yep, good game.
Thank you for having us.
All right. I think that pretty much wraps it up. So thanks to all the viewers. And as I said, follow the runners, follow Speed Gaming. Tooting my own horn, follow the commentators. We're cool too. And I think that'll about do it. So have a great night, everyone.